am I the asshole for imposing my culture, even though I thought I was just being nice? Even though I, 23F, am American, my parents are immigrants, and therefore I have a different cultural upbringing than most. One thing that was hammered into my head from a young age was to always bring a small gift when visiting anyone's house. It doesn't matter if it's family, or friends, or that one person you kind of know, but don't really like. Bringing something is a must. My boyfriend, 28M, and I have been dating for almost 4 years now, and since we both work from home, he suggested we make dinner with his parents a weekly thing since we haven't been able to see each other much for obvious reasons. I love his parents, so obviously I agreed. Every week I made sure to bring something small to show my appreciation for them cooking for us, always using my own money, a small bottle of wine, their favorite dessert, some flowers, etc., and they always thanked me for it. This has been going on for a few months, and absolutely didn't notice anything out of the ordinary until yesterday when my boyfriend and I were preparing to head over. I'd gotten a cute vase of daffodils since luckily I'd found some in bloom, and my boyfriend's mom really loves them. But my boyfriend suddenly got really mad and asked why I kept bringing stuff over every week like his parents were a charity case. Honestly, I got super confused and asked him what the problem was, and that I've always done this with everyone, including his friends, since we met. That it was a cultural thing, but then he got even madder and told me to stop imposing my culture on everyone, and it's weird since I'm white. At that point, I didn't feel like going anywhere with him and just gave him the flowers and went for a walk while he drove over to dinner by himself. After he came home, he still had the flowers which he gave to me and told me he was sorry, but his parents really were super annoyed with me constantly bringing stuff over like they can't take care of themselves. And later on, I got a text from his dad asking me to not come over for dinner anymore. Now, my boyfriend's giving me the cold shoulder unless I give his parents a huge apology, but I really, truly don't feel like I'm in the wrong for trying to be nice to them. So, am I the asshole? Update. After my last update, I told my boyfriend I was sick and tired of him dancing around the issue with his parents, and I was going to go over to their house whether he liked it or not. At this point, I think he realized that whatever he was doing had backfired, so he sat down all angry and told me he'd explain. I sat, and he told me that he'd done something very spur of the moment, and that he'd texted me from his dad's phone, then blocked the number but begged me to listen. That he just needed to get his parents off me for a while and to not leave. Apparently his parents had started hinting at him about marriage, since my boyfriend and I talked a lot about it. I fully expected to marry him, as I said in another comment, and was honestly expecting a proposal in late spring, since that's when we met. 4 years dating didn't bother me, but I was getting excited to settle down. However, my boyfriend apparently realized that he absolutely didn't want to commit to anything and wanted to experiment and have fun since I wasn't being fun anymore. Honestly, that just made me cry since we were each other's firsts for everything, and usually very good at communicating our needs. His grand plan was to get him mad at me, so I would beg for forgiveness. And then he'd only accept an open relationship as an answer. Absolutely brilliant plan, I know. He went over for dinner, hid the flowers, and said we'd gotten into a huge fight, but he was going to fix it. But I needed space. After he confessed all this, he said he was very sorry, but really didn't want to miss out on new experiences when he was still young. And would I consider an open relationship, but pretend ours was strained with his parents so they wouldn't get suspicious? And I laughed. I laughed his ass right out the door and told him absolutely not, and to leave me alone while I packed because I wanted to have some new experiences too. He never stopped begging me to stay, but I left to sleep at a friend's. After calming down for a few days, I cemented the breakup and finally actually went over to his parents. My ex-boyfriend's dad never even noticed the phone missing but still apologized, and his mom was a mess. I did and still love them and will eat dinner there without him as often as I can. I won't lie that I'm sad about 4 years down the drain, but that's life. And if that was my ex's best possible plan, then I dodged the bullet by a mile.